How to protect your personal data at the US border. Business people and journalists have long been paranoid about protecting their personal data when visiting countries like China and Russia. But now travelers to the United States are also reporting increasingly invasive behavior by the US Customs and Border Protection Agency. In one recently publicized case, a Canadian man missed his flight to the US while a Customs and Border Protection officer used his passwords to access profiles on a gay hookup app and website. To secure your data at the US border, notify a loved one or your attorney before passing through a checkpoint, and again after you have passed through. If you are detained and have your devices confiscated, you may not be able to alert anyone. Turn off your device's fingerprint unlocking function, as visitors such as green card holders may be required to provide fingerprints. Encrypt your devices with a strong password and use a strong PIN. And turn all devices off, because some encryption tools only work properly if a device has been powered down. Prepare a spare phone and laptop computer that you only use when you travel. Link these devices to secondary accounts with their own unique usernames and passwords that you only use for travel. Do not link them to your main accounts. Wipe your devices before you leave home and delete any sensitive apps. For extra protection, make sure that even you cannot access your device while passing through US border control. Set up two-factor authentication on your device, but keep your SIM card at home, destroy it, or mail it to your destination. That way, even if you're forced to divulge your PIN, you won't be able to unlock your device. One caveat: taking any of the above measures may arouse suspicion and lead to a longer detention or denial of entry if you are not a citizen. Unfortunately, there isn't much you can do to protect your Facebook or other social media accounts. A fake account might fool an individual officer, but experts strongly advise against doing anything that could be construed as lying to a government agent. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Here's more stories on encryption, spying, and secrecy.
China is watching. Budget phone users beware, your device could have a secret backdoor leading straight to China, and you won't even know it. An American security firm discovered pre-installed software on several Android phone models in the US that are apparently monitoring user activity. Created by Chinese company Adapts, the software collects personal data on the phone. That means all your text messages, call logs, contacts, and even where you've been. All the information is encrypted and regularly sent to servers in Shanghai. Data transmission for the call and text logs was every 72 hours. For other personally identifiable information, it was every day. On top of that, the software could access your phone remotely to install or update certain applications. Since the software came with the device, antivirus tools assumed it was not malware and were unable to flag the suspicious activity. Adapts claims the software was designed to help a Chinese manufacturer monitor user behavior, but that it was never meant to be on American phones. The full scope of the problem is still unclear, though 120,000 phones from American manufacturer Blue were among those affected.
Tim Cook and Apple refuse to build backdoor for feds. The cheese stands alone. Well, more like the apple. In an open letter published Wednesday, CEO Tim Cook vowed to fight a court order requiring Apple to help the FBI access encrypted data on an iPhone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooters. The order requests Apple develop a new version of iOS that lets the feds bypass security settings in order to rapidly brute force a series of password guesses to unlock its encryption. Basically, law enforcement wants Apple to give them a backdoor. Cook stated, "In the wrong hands, this software, which does not exist today, would have the potential to unlock any iPhone in someone's physical possession." Maybe Apple's worried over nothing. The US government is at the forefront of internet security. But Apple's stance in defense of privacy and civil liberties is not only important in the US. If Apple caves to the FBI's demands, think of what crappy governments like Saudi Arabia or even worse, China would do with that power.
State-sponsored Russian hackers accused of breaching U.S. Joint Chiefs email security. U.S. government officials say an unclassified Department of Defense email system was hacked between June and July of this year. The U.S. government alleges that between June and July 2015, Russian state-sponsored hackers penetrated an unclassified U.S. Department of Defense email system. The hackers used compromised computers at legitimate companies to conduct spear phishing attacks, which penetrated the Joint Chiefs' unclassified email system. Classified email systems were not penetrated. Some of the system's 4,000 government and civilian users received apparently legitimate emails containing links to websites with malicious Adobe Flash elements. Other emails had compressed files attached containing executable files, which, when opened, would compromise the computer network. Infected computers then started sending massive amounts of information to thousands of addresses worldwide. The attackers' identities were obscured by encryption. The compromised email system has been shut down in response.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Ashley Madison cheater website hacked. Customer data published. Ashley Madison's website slogan reads, "Life is short, have an affair," and the service claims it has more than 38 million users. But now, Ashley Madison users have had their information stolen by hackers calling themselves the Impact Team. They announced their hacktivities last month, and now they claim to have published the personal information of 37 million users on the dark web. Many government email addresses are reportedly listed in the user data, including that of former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. CEO of Active Life Media and founder of Ashley Madison, Noel Biderman, said he thinks the hackers might be working with someone who had legitimate access to the adultery site's internal network. The information that's been leaked includes names, addresses, phone numbers, and personal tidbits, such as sexual fantasies that the users posted online. Although some dispute the authenticity of the data, several users have confirmed that their information was included, even though it is possible to use an unconfirmed email address to create an account. The hackers released a statement referencing a lawsuit against Ashley Madison, which claims 90 to 95% of users are actually male. The statement urges users to prosecute Active Life Media for damages, and says though the users whose information was leaked might be embarrassed now, they'll get over it. Reactions to the hack have varied from fear of being busted to righteous crusaders who think the cheaters deserve what they got. Actress Patricia Arquette tweeted, "I feel kinda sick inside for Ashley Madison hacked people. I'm into fidelity and honesty, but public shaming is like bringing back stockades." Ed Jefferson wrote, "Please don't tweet any of my information from the Ashley Madison leak. My wives will be devastated." Many Twitter users, like Burrow Hazard, made the obvious gag on the company's slogan, saying, "Life is short, have a divorce."
The U.S. National Security Agency can now pry into many encrypted communications previously thought to be secure, according to the latest leaked documents from former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. Commonplace internet encryption methods used to secure emails, chats, and financial transactions have been circumvented by the NSA and its British counterpart. The two governments have employed, among other methods, supercomputers to break, using brute force, the encryption of some of the most popular online protocols. The $250 million a year program dwarfs the previously revealed PRISM program, which operates at a cost of $20 million a year.